Hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventure. Just Dave here. Today, I am talking about the movie Pinocchio. Again. This is the second Pinocchio movie to come out this year. This is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I guess main differences between this one and the Disney one is this one is not made by Disney. So a lot of the stuff like Jiminy Cricket, they didn't necessarily have the rights to. I guess it's more based on the book, but he also made some changes of his own. So as far as what I liked about the movie, overall, I liked the cast. Ewan McGregor, I always enjoy him. He was great as Sebastian J. Cricket, I think was his name. Gregory Mann as Pinocchio, I thought was good. I don't know if he did the singing or not, but I thought his singing was actually pretty good as well. Ron Perlman's always good. Finn Wolfhard was in there as Candlewick. We had John Turturro, Cate Blanchett, Christoph Waltz, Tim Blake Nelson, Tilda Swinton, and Tom Kenny did a bunch of voices as well. So a lot of my favorite actors in this. And so, yeah, it was great to hear them all. And especially Christoph Waltz, I think, stood out to me a lot. Cate Blanchett, I couldn't figure out who she played at first, but she played Spazzatura, the monkey, who was, again, one of my favorite characters. The movie's got this stop motion animation style, and it's really nice. It looks great. It looks beautiful. I assume there was a fair amount of computer aided sort of assistance with it as well. I don't exactly know, but it looks great. I love stop motion. I love the kind of weird jerkiness of it. It gives it this sort of otherworldly kind of quality. And I really like this sort of character designs, the way they looked. Pinocchio, Geppetto, all of them, they look cool. They had a nice kind of gothic, kind of weird look to them, sort of a vaguely Tim Burton kind of Nightmare Before Christmas kind of thing. It reminded me of a little bit. I really liked it a lot. I did like how they kept doing the thing every time the cricket would try to sing his song, he would get smashed or he would get stopped from doing the song. Although I guess I didn't necessarily like all of the violence on the cricket. I guess that was partially in the book. Pinocchio actually kills the cricket early on with a hammer, and then he's like a ghost. I don't know. I haven't read the book. And I like the score. Alexandre Desplat did the score. Before this, he did the King's Speech, Argo, a bunch of stuff. That's what I liked about it. As far as what I disliked about it, I didn't really like most of the songs. I didn't like Geppetto's first song. Pinocchio songs were okay. Like I said, the kid or whoever's doing the singing had a good voice. But a lot of the songs I didn't really like. Even Pinocchio stuff was just very repetitive and not my style. I'm not a big fan of musicals in general. Movie is a little too long. It's like an hour 47, 117 minutes, whatever that is. So hour 27 minutes, something like that. A little too long for me, in my opinion, I think. It was a little boring. Oh no, it's longer than that. It's almost 2 hours. And there was definitely parts where it's a little boring. I definitely, there's times where I lost interest in it while I was watching it. I didn't necessarily like or understand the fact that they set it in Italy during World War II, what the reasoning or the point was for that. And all the sort of war stuff and generally like the religious stuff. I realized Guillermo del Toro has a religious background, and so that's a thing that comes up a lot for him. But for me, it's always kind of a turnoff in general. Not to hold it against the movie or anything, but the movie was directed by actually Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson. Mark Gustafson did the PJs, California Raisins, the TV show back in the 80s, I think, or 90s. So a long history with stop motion animation. This is, of course, Guillermo del Toro's first animated movie, although he did some other animated stuff, wrote at least for like Troll Hunters and stuff like that. Del Toro, of course, has done a bunch of stuff before this. Pan's Labyrinth is probably the closest thing to this in a lot of ways, sort of a weird kid story kind of thing. But he also did Pacific Rim, a bunch of things. I can't even remember them all right now. Most recently he did, or fairly recently he did that, the Nightmare Alley remake, with Cate Blanchett, which is, I believe, where they got together, decided to do this. So it was written by Del Toro and a guy named Patrick McHale. Before this, he wrote Over the Garden Wall, Adventure Time, some cartoons and stuff like that. I think Del Toro liked Over the Garden Wall, and that's why he decided to have him write this for him as well. It's, of course, based on the Carlo Collodi book, which was written in 1883. Of course, the book was set in the 1800s when it was written, and this movie is set in the 1930s. So why they made that change, I'm not exactly sure, but Del Toro often has stuff set on or during war times, like Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone, stuff like that. And they did, of course, name the kid Carlo, Geppetto's son, which is, of course, a nod to Carlo Collodi. And they did expand on that more than than at least the Disney cartoon did and other things have. But of course, other people have done that as well. This is apparently the longest stop motion animated film at 117 minutes, so just a couple minutes shy of 2 hours. I did notice the wood sprite, which I think is the thing to my right there, your left. It has sort of almost like a biblical version of an angel, kind of, or a cherubim kind of design to it, which I'm sure was intentional. Just all the extra eyes on the wings and all that kind of stuff. Like I mentioned before, they named him Sebastian Cricket because I'm assuming Jiminy Cricket was an invention of the Walt Disney Company. Count Volpe, again, is sort of a created character where they combined a couple of different characters. And of course, Volpe means wolf. They cut out the Pleasure Island thing entirely, but I guess in this one, the training island, the war kind of training that they did was a substitute for Pleasure Island in a way. And they also had the terrible dogfish in this one, which similar kind of thing in the most recent Disney movie. But of course, in the 1940s cartoon, it was just a whale from what I remember. But I think in the book, it was probably also this terrible dogfish. Had a cool design. It was very ugly and hideous looking, so I like that. And of course, like I said, Tom Petty shows up in this a lot. And it's funny because he also played Geppetto in 2021's Pauly Shore Pinocchio movie, which I have not seen, but I remember hearing about in the memes. So as far as this movie, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think the animation style and the stop motion was great, and I really liked the character designs, and I did like the score, but I didn't like the songs very much, and it was a little too long and a little slow, I guess maybe slow or just boring at times. So I think for my score, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Thought it was okay, but not great. I don't know if I'd recommend it to anyone who wasn't, necessarily a Del Toro fan or a Pinocchio fan. But yeah, not bad. I don't regret watching it by any means. But if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.